So we may not all be in Madrid for common reasons, but one uniting factor is that we all chose to study abroad. We all chose to explore a new land, and we all chose Madrid as one of the possible locations. For me, traveling has always been a passion of mine, and I've always wanted to travel since I was a kid. Because my parents never taught me my native language of Tagalog from the Philippines, I have always wanted to learn Spanish. I've always had such a strong desire, especially since I do claim some Spanish heritage. I wanted to be like those other kids in school who could switch to another language instantaneously with their parents in a conversation or in their house. So of course, when I came here, I had to do everything in the most Spanish way possible. That means lots of tapas, especially El Tigre tapas, sangria, flamenco, and anything else reminiscent of Spain that you could possibly think of. And to prove to my friends and my family, and especially to myself, that I was living the life that I'd always dreamed of, photos are a must. You see, my love affair with photography all started out when I was a kid. I would take photos of random things that I liked, and then I would use a phenomenal photo editing app on my phone to remove all the colors from the photos with the exception of one or two, such as my sister's dress, or a flower, or this mango drink thing, or this really attractive selfie of me in my sunglasses. I was a very strange kid, to say the least, but even back then, to me, there was something beautiful. I had always seen colors and images so distinctly, and there was just, again, something beautiful in curating an image the way that I saw fit. When I traveled as a kid, my mom would always make me keep a travel journal, and she instilled in me this appreciation for remembering the places that I had traveled to. Fast forward to the summer of 2015, and I purchased my first big boy camera, a Nikon D3300, to photograph my sister's wedding. I wanted to commemorate it in the best way possible, and what better way could I give my own sister, what better gift could I give my own sister than memories of her special day? I wanted my sister to see the way that I saw her. I wanted her to see the way that she was so beautiful, that she was so elegant, successful, happy, and most importantly, that she was loved. You see, I didn't care that I was removing myself from the moment each time that I snapped a photo of her. For me, that was the best way that I could express how much I really did love her. Well, just a few days after the wedding, my camera was stolen in Prague. But I shook it off, I saved money, and I decided that since studying abroad was coming up, that was the best opportunity to rekindle this passion of mine from childhood. So, I think that we've all stumbled upon this idea somewhere that taking photos removes you from the moment that you are living in. There's an article from The New Yorker that touches upon this idea, and there was a quote that stuck out to me. In the future, we will photograph everything and look at nothing. This quote really resonated with me because how often do we whip out our phones of the first beautiful vista in a foreign country, or some divine food we ate at a trendy restaurant? All of these experiences are heightened by the fact that we, especially we Americans, are living the European traveling dream. It is this dream that is purported by the media that college and your 20-somethings are a time to be alive, a time to explore the world and discover who you really are before, jobs and reality set in, if they haven't already. But it is those same photos that allow us to relive those memories and those dreams that we have actually lived. But as of late, I've begun to wonder, whenever I slap a filter on a photo or post just a snippet of a trip, what am I really remembering? Am I doing it for me, for posterity, for my memories of my existence at that place, at that moment? Or am I doing it to validate my time there, but for others? To say that, yes, I'm one of those cool, hip, youthful nomads doing crazy things all around the world. There's a word that my Madrileña friend Lucia had told me, and I think that it perfectly encapsulates the sentiment. Postureo. Do it for the gram. Or, as we in English would also say, pics, or it didn't happen. It is to say that we essentially do something because we want to prove to others that we were there. That what we did was the coolest thing ever. But whenever we iterate that question to one another, it's almost as if it is a challenge. A question of, did you really do it? When I was visiting the Cliffs of Moher over spring break in Ireland, the first thing that my friends and I wanted to do was to find the perfect spot for the most Insta-worthy photo. So literally we got off from the bus and the first thing we do is try to find that spot, and for almost an hour we're searching and we're searching. And finally my two friends, they find their perfect spot and they begin taking photos. And so I say to my other friend, hey, okay, fine, let's go move on, we'll find our own spot. So we move along ahead and we find our spot and we do the same. So let me take you all through an abbreviated version of what my photo publishing process on Instagram looks like. First, you find the perfect spot, then you find the best angle to accentuate yourself, and then you ponder the most clever caption, and then you consider possible hashtags like hashtag Europe, hashtag how we arrive abroad, hashtag blue, hashtag cliffs, hashtag follow for follow, and then comes the most excruciating decision of my life. You know, what filter do I use? Do I choose Rise? Or do I choose Lark? Rise or Lark? And then, of course, I have to wait for the most perfect hour to post the photo so as to garner the most amount of likes possible. And so completes the journey of capturing a photo from the moment that I will probably never get back again. I realize quickly what is happening, what I'm missing out on, and so I turn to my friend and I'm like, hey, do you think we can just stay here for 5 more minutes? Not on our phones or our cameras, nothing. Just 5 minutes tops, I promise. I want to do that because, for me, I realized that I came on a 4-hour bus ride to the edge of Ireland to witness the majesty that is the Cliffs of Moher, not to take pictures of the Cliffs of Moher. And for me, it was just honestly something that I realized was so trifling, and I wanted to see what else I can do. I had taken so much time to craft a certain look. I had shaped it, I had modified it, and I had filtered it. Photos are like fashion. Just as I curate what I wear to best present myself physically, I also curate what I post to best fit mainstream society, and also what I think best fits me and represents me. At least I think. You see, when taking photos becomes a necessity to enjoy a trip or to feel fulfilled, I think that we unwittingly put a filter on ourselves. It is this filter of needing something to be complete, because that's how filters work, right? For me, it's almost as if I refuse to live my life without documenting each second. And when I do that, I realize that I reduce my existence to mere moments and move the focus from my life to social media. And on that front, I portray myself not necessarily falsely, but not necessarily truly either. And it is this filtering that is neither good nor bad, but I have to ask myself, is it really me? In this world where genuineness and honesty are so rare, is that what I want to put forth? A filtered version of myself. But, of course, do not mistake my intentions. I'm not advocating to not take photos ever, but rather what I'm advocating for is to find an equilibrium. I want to know why we are capturing the moment in between living it and capturing it. And of course, not everyone takes photos and uses social media in an abusive way. But take, for instance, my trip to the Cliffs of Moher. The photos were supposed to be a complement of my trip, not the primary purpose of why I was there. I had almost forgotten so badly why I wanted to go there that the cliffs themselves became almost a mere backdrop of my Instagram. And what I wanted them to be most of all was this once-in-a-lifetime breathtaking experience. So then what compels us to capture the moment and put our lives on display? So let's say you're taking a photo of like a random thing, such as a sidewalk, or a building, or a really cute puddle you see on the way to school, like #puddlegram. I don't know, I guess you can say that there is something inherently narcissistic about that. And I think that it is a healthy part of your development. I think that it is a healthy part of developing who you are and finding out who you are. And I'll be honest and say that I definitely curate what I post on social media so as to really demonstrate just how incredible my life has become. And that's because when I was in high school, I really felt invisible and worthless. For 4 years, I was trapped in this suffocating environment, And I really did not feel like I had any value or any importance. And yeah, I had friends and everything seemed happy on the outside, but inside I was screaming. I had never felt smart enough. I never felt good enough, attractive enough, talented enough. I just never felt enough. But coming to NYU, and with the people that I'm blessed with to have in my life right now, I've begun to see myself in a better light. And photos and social media have helped me to do that, certainly. They have helped me gain back a confidence that I never really had. And they also speak for me in the way that saying, guess what? I'm still here. I am so happy and I'm doing better than you ever thought I could have imagined. And you know what? I'll prove it to you. I think that for me, it has been a journey about balance. And more than just balance, but I think that I want to find out who I am and what motivated me to post things online. And it is the same journey that will help you understand will help you better understand yourself and what makes you post things online and what motivates you as a person. And if only I wish I could suggest that there was a golden ratio for all of this. I think I'd like to share a personal story with all of you. About 2 months ago, I met a guy. And as most love interests start nowadays, we met on Tinder. And then we moved to texting. I mean, WhatsApp since, Europe. And so finally we decided to meet. I remember where we met. It was Buenos Aires, #1, the light blue line. It was a sunny day. It was a bit chilly, but I tried to play it cool. Tried not to shiver as we walked around his neighborhood. And I remember that over WhatsApp he had mentioned to me that he'd want to show me something. So at one point he asks me to close my eyes. And mind you, I just met the guy. And so I'm kind of thinking you could possibly kill me right now. But since there's sunlight and that there are people around, I'll trust you. So thus began my blind trek as he led me, hands on my shoulders, into unknown territory. I would like to interject here that he never did tell me when there was a curb. So every single time that I stepped off, I would almost fall flat on my face. But everything was going good until I realized it was getting hard to walk, and I realized we're going up a hill. And so I was grumbling, and he keeps telling me, no, do not open your eyes. Not yet. And so finally, after much belabored breathing, and after a lot more grumbling, he finally tells me to open my eyes. And do you know what I opened my eyes to? I opened my eyes to one of the most beautiful sights that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. We were on top of a hill at sunset, overlooking all of Madrid. Needless to say, my jaw dropped for a solid minute and a half. And he was really confused. He was like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I was so stunned and I was completely in shock still. And he finally again broke the silence with saying, this spot isn't on any tourist map. You really have to live here to know that it exists. Truly, it was one of the kindest, most thoughtful, most romantic gestures that anyone has ever done for me. And I almost wish I had a photo of it to show you all just how wonderful of an experience it was. But I don't. And that's okay. I told myself in that moment that I was not going to taint this experience. That I was going to be present, and present with him. You know what? It's better than okay. Because that experience was for me, and not for the world to see. And it is something that I will always carry in my heart with me forever. No pics. And it still happened. Thank you.